After more than 22 years on the force, Spanish Fort Police Chief David Edgar is retiring.
Chief Edgar is spending the last 20 of those years as chief of the growing Eastern Shore city. He's seen a lot of changes during that time.
He sat down with our Baldwin County reporter Hal Sherrick to reflect on his time.
We used to get calls for gas drive-offs quite frequently.
A lot has changed in the 20 years Chief David Edgar has been top cop in Spanish Fort. The biggest change?
We've seen quite an increase in traffic, an increase in traffic accidents with more people on the highway.
David Edgar's law enforcement career began in Marion, Alabama, before moving to Spanish Fort in 1997. At that time, there were only 3 other officers on the force. Today, there are 25 and 4 dispatchers. Edgar took over as police chief in March of 2000 and has stayed true to his call to service.
One of my priorities as being the chief was being able to interact with the community, to do still be the police, even though you were the police chief. That's what I grew up with.
Edgar's long-term goal was to retire at age 50, which happened in September. Over his years, the biggest change he's seen is the growth and the challenges and crime that come with it. There were only a handful of homicides over his 2 decades in Spanish Fort, but Edgar says the unsolved murder of local businessman Bobby Wilson in 2007 is the one that will stick with him.
As bad as we wanted to solve it, as bad as we wanted to get a conviction on the individual who committed that murder, it just never came about.
As Edgar steps down, his roots stay firmly planted in Baldwin County. He says he leaves his post with few regrets.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been a heck of a career, and there's been days where I didn't enjoy it as much as others, but overall, it's been probably the most rewarding, most enjoyable job I've ever had.
Reporting from Spanish Fort, Hal Sherrick, Fox 10 News.